Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Ahead on our news tonight, a second victim from last night's shooting dies in hospital. Beaches and Parks chairman says contract details are alarming. And Dr. Ian Straw named UB's executive vice president. Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. The homicide count climbing tonight as the second male shot in last night's triple shooting on West End Avenue and Market Street has died. Investigators confirmed that the male victim, who was transported to hospital, succumbed to his injuries this morning. The final victim, a female, is the only survivor. Police press liaison Superintendent Audley Peters telling reporters on the scene last night that it was shortly after 10 p.m. when officers were called to the scene where they met a man believed to be in his early 20s lying on the ground suffering from gunshot wounds.
A group of persons were gathered at an abandoned building on the junction of Market Street and Western Avenue when a small white vehicle approached. Two males exited that vehicle and discharged their weapons on the group. A male who noticed these males walking towards him ran east along Market Street around the rear of the residence. And while the suspects were discharging their weapon at him.
Noting the presence of CCTV in the neighborhood, Peter says all available tools and avenues will be utilized to solve this crime.
The information that we have so far with the technology is very promising. We simply have to piece it together to put the suspects and all of the events so that we can come to some closure. So we're very encouraged by what we've gathered so far.
The latest incident follows 5 murders last weekend. Superintendent Peters gave this update and warned would-be criminals.
It is confirmed that some of the incidents over the past weekend were related to drugs and related to gang. However, this incident, the information is just forthcoming and our inquiries are leading us in a particular direction. As we have all the pieces together, we'll be able to determine what's the true nature of this incident. We're encouraged that in our recent incidents, we have our suspects, and in due course, they will be before the courts. Because why? The citizenry, they're sharing the information with us. Technology and innovation is aiding us in the fight of crime. You who are hell-bent on doing mischief, committing crime, your day will come.
The Disaster Reconstruction Authority owes the National Insurance Board more than $100,000. That's according to Minister Responsible, Miles LaRota, who told parliamentarians in his mid-year budget contribution that since its establishment, the DRA has not paid NIB contributions for its staff.
What is also concerning that at December 2021, the DRA owed the National Insurance Board the sum of $168,793.89. There were no payments made to NIB on behalf of the staff of DRA from its inception. I want to assure the public and those employees, former and present, that we are presently addressing those matters.
As the debate on the mid-year budget wrapped up Thursday night, the Public Beaches and Parks Authority Chairman Mikel Barnaby revealing what he called alarming details into contracts issued under the former Minnis administration. Berthamy McDermott reports.
Multiple sweeping contracts issued by the authority under the Minnis administration topped $76,000 per month, according to Public Beaches and Parks Authority Chairman Mikel Barnaby. As controversy continues around the authority and its past leadership, Barnaby revealed that sweeping contracts had some irregularities.
First and foremost, every contract has to bear 4 signatures: the contractor's signature, the witness signature, the executive chairman's signature, and the board secretary's signature. When those signatures are affixed and penned to a contract, it is valid and binds the authority. The sweeper contracts were only signed by the former chairman.
According to Barnaby, no board secretary's signature was found on those substantial contracts. He said one contract was $45,926 per month, another $11,625 per month, another $12,400 per month, and $6,951 per month. He said the accounts department should have brought the matter to the attention of former executive chairman Shannon Don Cartwright.
Why wasn't the board secretary's signature affixed to the sweeping contracts? That's one. Was the board aware of the sweeping contracts at the time they were signed? That's two. Was the board aware of the substantial amounts of the contracts? Was the amounts in the contracts vetted? Did the former board members approve the contracts retrospectively? Why were these lucrative contracts not returned to the chairman by the accounts department when they were submitted for processing?
He also asked that if these contracts were avoidable, should legal action be taken to return the monies to the public purse, and questioned whether board members will be protected, particularly given the fact that they did not meet for 2 years. Cartwright has come under fire after it was revealed late last year that the authority consecutively overspent its budget by millions of dollars and issued a rash of contracts ahead of the 2021 election, some of which were duplicates. Cartwright quickly responded, saying the meeting minutes would reflect the sweeping contracts were unanimously approved by the board.
In terms of how much and the rates, all of that was litigated at the board level, and all of them were fully approved, and the minutes will reflect that. Okay, as it relates to the contracts and how they were set out, we would have used past references. Okay, we would have used past references in terms of that, and that went before the board, fully approved by the board.
Cartwright also addressed duplicate contracts, saying they were not a sinister attempt to double pay, but instead a system issue. He said he met 50 to 60 duplicate contracts when the Free National Movement came into office in 2017. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
We have a lot more coming up in this newscast, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Good evening, Greg.
Thanks, Megan, and welcome everybody for our first look at weather on this warm Friday evening. 79 degrees outside our studios with just a few clouds. We had a full moon for the last couple of days, so it looks like it's going to be another full moon night. Southeast winds at 10 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature very, very warm, 82 degrees. On our satellite, quiet across our area, ridge of high pressure jutting in from the Atlantic across area, merging with another high that's in the Gulf of Mexico. They will continue to dominate our weather over the next couple of days. Tighter pressure gradient will increase our winds, so it's going to be a little breezy for the weekend. But a frontal boundary across the southeastern United States, we're going to continue to watch that as it approaches us. Should be in here by Sunday. That's your first look. Then the forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, a woman raises awareness about a rare ovarian condition. Her story is straight ahead. And later, the DPM pays a courtesy call on Cayman Islands tourism minister. All of that is still to come when Our News returns.
Got size at 6'5".
Hi, this is Shamika.
The University of the Bahamas has appointed Dr. Ian Strawn as Executive Vice President. His appointment comes days after Dr. Eric Rowland, a high-ranking official at California Paulina Tech and State University, was appointed as the university's next president. Jared Higgs tells us more.
I love UB, and I am happy to serve my country as Executive Vice President of the University of the Bahamas.
Dr. Strawn, who will retain his position as president of UB's Northern Campus, was a finalist for the president's post, sparking backlash from the Union of Tertiary Educators, as well as some members of the public who thought a Bahamian should be appointed. Chair of the Board of Trustees at UB, Alison Maynard Gibson, was asked whether Strawn was appointed to the executive vice president's post due to the uproar over Rollins' appointment.
I say to those people that we are proud that Dr. Strawn is stepping up to the plate as Executive Vice President, a position that is in the Act, the University of the Bahamas Act, and he has agreed to stay on as president of UB North.
The Union of Tertiary Educators also released a statement praising the decision to appoint Strawn. It read, in part, UTEB looks forward to EVP Dr. Strawn's engagement in the leadership team of the incoming president and expects his institutional knowledge will enhance national development and bring speedy redress to the plethora of outstanding labor issues, including the outstanding remuneration and benefits of faculty. UTEB expects these matters will be addressed before the arrival of the new president in August 2022. Meanwhile, Strawn, a graduate of the institution and respected member of the fine arts community, gave brief remarks at the ceremony that only lasted 35 seconds. In those comments, he focused on his role in Grand Bahama.
Most of all, I am grateful for the expressed commitment of the board to the vision we have articulated for UB North. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration that will be to the lasting benefit of Grand Bahama, the North, and indeed all the Bahamas.
Maynard Gibson also stressed his role at the Northern Campus.
If you would have heard Dr. Strawn's vision for UB North, we know that for that STEM campus to come on board the way that he envisages it, with the support of the Board of Trustees, that energy is needed there.
Strawn takes up his new post starting April 1st, while Rollin will start in August. Minister of Education Glenys Hanna-Martin acknowledged the autonomy of UB's board in making its decisions, but said she hoped a Bahamian would be president of the university in short order. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments Chester Cooper met with the Minister of Tourism for the Cayman Islands, Kenneth Bryan, announcing hopes for further collaboration between the two countries in improving their respective tourism products. Cooper says he's looking into the possibility of dual-stop vacations for travelers visiting the Cayman Islands and vice versa. Cooper added he hopes to create links with other Caribbean countries to overcome the logistical difficulty of travel between Caribbean islands. Cooper says it is essential for countries in the Caribbean to recognize the shared challenges and seek to work together rather than competing, adding that the future of Caribbean tourism is providing authentic experiences.
Our challenges, although unique in some ways, are all the same when you think of it. And when you peel back the onion, if you will, there are several components to the tourism product. There's the room capacity, there's the airlift, and then there are those unique features like the culture and the music and the people and the vibe that you feel when you get to that country.
Bryan says he reached out to Cooper for assistance in getting their tourism product to return to optimal levels, adding that the Cayman Islands are one of the last countries in the Caribbean to fully open back up again. Bryan says as the Cayman Islands are reopening their cruise ports for the first time since the pandemic started, they seeked guidance from the Bahamas in following COVID protocols. Bryan added that despite the competition for tourism business, Cooper recognized the importance of the relationship between the two Caribbean countries, offering to assist in any way they can.
When you think about working together, the industry for many decades now have been saying one thing, which is they want authenticity. And that's one way we're not going to compete, because there's only one Bahamas and there's only one Cayman. So what we can do is work together as a Caribbean region to say, how do we best sell Bahamas for what Bahamas is, their culture, their music, and their history. And I can also follow the similar model to say, what is Cayman's culture, history, music, and arts and food and the like. So you're creating a structure through ideas and partnerships, and you model it for yourself, because it could only be unique to each country.
When Our News comes back from the break, it's Police Month. Let's hear from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamika.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Nassau Cruise Port CEO Michael Morris says vendors factor heavily in plans for the development of a new waterfront, which is set to open in the first quarter of 2023. Maurer, who addressed Rotarians on Thursday, says once completed, the improved waterfront is projected to bring in more than 4 million cruise visitors per year. Maurer says the port marketplace, which is to house 50 legacy tenants, is expected to provide an authentically Bahamian experience.
When you're talking about authentically Bahamian, it takes work, and it takes investment, and it takes planning, and it takes effort, but we have to put the effort in. The fact is that if you have an authentically Bahamian business generating 1 million, the odds are that probably 80+% of the money that goes into that is staying in country. If you put, a luxury brand there, while they might do 5 million, the fact is 95% of that is leaving the country.
Morris says the port has also factored ground transportation providers into its development plans, which also features environmental sustainability.
I have an obligation to help the taxi drivers succeed. I have an obligation to help tour operators succeed. They are an extension of the experience. I have an obligation to help and encourage the tenants that are going to be within our space to succeed, through investment in authentic Bahamian products and making sure that they're different.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force Band has been in existence almost as long as the force, and during its long history, hundreds of musicians have played instruments and sang solos. In this next report, our Jasmine Brown introduces us to the man who leads the band and a young woman who says it has allowed her to follow her dreams. More than 120 years, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band has been making music, and today they are one of the most recognizable bands in the country. In 1893, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band began with 12 members. Today, the band is comprised of 67 men and women who play dual roles as musicians and police officers. Superintendent Selden Adderley is the band's musical director.
First of all, we are all police officers, and so everything that police officers do, we are required to do. Certainly, we have some talent that goes with it.
While the band has garnered local and international fame for their performances, Superintendent Adderley says their work goes far beyond making music. He says they also provide an outlet for those who want to make music their careers. Corporal Gandhi Sherman is one of those band members. She got her start as a member of the Urban Renewal Band in 2002 and always knew she wanted to be a member of the police force's band.
When I was in high school, I did job training with the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, and that ensued into me auditioning for the band.
Along the way, Sherman obtained a master's degree in musical studies and has been a trumpet player on the band for the last 13 years. And while making a career out of music may not be popular, both Superintendent Adderley and Corporal Sherman say it's not impossible.
For me, it doesn't feel like a job. And once it don't feel like a job, that means, you, like you said, you really enjoy doing what you do.
If you're a lover of music like I am, when you come to the police band and when you're doing something you love, it's not work anymore. Yes, it's a lot of work because there's a much practice that goes along with it. There are very long days, very long weekends because the police band is in high demand. But I'm sure you that if you come to the police band, you make music your career.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown. Still to come on Our News, a woman raises awareness about a rare ovarian condition. Her story is straight ahead. And Greg is back with your extended weather forecast.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamika.
Welcome back to our news. A young woman who was recently diagnosed with a rare medical condition has made it her mission to raise awareness about the disorder. 30-year-old Princia Bethel says the diagnosis came as a surprise.
I recently found out that I have an ovarian teratoma. Did not know what a teratoma was until I actually got diagnosed maybe like a week and a half ago. A teratoma is a form of a tumor that grows on your ovary, and it can have like teeth and hair and bones. It's very weird. Like it's basically when your germ cell does not develop properly.
Although she was diagnosed less than 2 weeks ago, Bethel says she decided to take action. She organized an event called Brunch in the Park to not only plan an event to raise money for her medical expenses, but also to raise awareness about ovarian teratomas. She says the event, that will be held at the Bahamas National Trust Retreat Grounds, has a $10 entrance fee.
So you come to the Retreat Gardens on Village Road opposite QC. You pay a donation of $10 to get in, and then you just come and enjoy the time. You can bring your own picnic basket, picnic setup, or we also have things to rent. You know, just trying to find innovative ways to raise or generate funds, but at the same time create an environment whereby people can enjoy, learn and have a great time.
And if you wish to support the event, it will happen on Saturday at the Bahamas National Trust. And now it's time for our extended weather forecast. Greg?
Thanks again, Megan, and welcome back, everybody, for our second look at weather on this TGIF Friday. Ridge of high pressure, basically a carbon copy of what we had for the last couple of days, dominating our weather, extending out of the Atlantic across us and into the Gulf of Mexico. Both of those highs will merge and will keep us a little breezy for the weekend, but that high will keep this frontal boundary across the southeast United States at bay for at least another day before it gets in here. By Sunday, we expect that frontal boundary to be across our area, but it's creating quite a bit of a mess across the southeast United States. Some showers and thunderstorms very strong associated with that. We don't expect that significant of a weather feature to get down towards us, but we will look for some isolated showers and thunderstorms by Sunday time frame. Boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow. Small craft caution in effect. East to southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be a very choppy 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Your high tide will be at 9:03 tonight. Here's a look now at your family island weather and temperatures for tomorrow. Here's a look now at your extended forecast through next Friday. Warm and toasty conditions expected over the next couple of days, and a front expected by Sunday. That's a look at our weather. Have a safe weekend, everybody. Back to you, Megan.
We thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, have a safe and wonderful evening.